PennsPeakRadio.com.
Look, I promised you just after 10 o'clock, and it is on this Wednesday here at Penn Peak Radio and on the Bump and Grind. We have a great guy on board here with us, and we can all say good morning to Matt Ryan, Bruce in the USA. Matt, are you awake?
I'm awake now, Doc. Good morning. Thanks for having me, buddy.
Not a problem at all. Not a problem. I posted on your Facebook page for the thousands of people that are on your Facebook page, and I sent you out an email, and couldn't wait to have you on the show. First of all, great guy, Matt Ryan, Bruce in the USA, coming up here at the Peak on Saturday night. And he's been back here before, but I'll tell you what, awesome show, great stage presence, and What's been going on in the life of Matt Ryan, man? What's up?
Well, we've been all over the world in the last the past year and a half, and you know how it is. You know, when you travel, not every place is the same. Every state is like its own little country.
Yeah,
you know, its own little vibe, its own little level of politeness, its own little history and everything else. So there's coming back to Penn Peak it's just one of those. One of the few rooms in the country that I guess about 7 or 8 years ago, 7 years ago, when we first drove up that mountain and did that show, and were blown away by what a beautiful venue and incredible crowd. It was one of those venues that made us want to be a touring act instead of a show on the Vegas Strip. So we are really excited about coming back.
It's
as always.
It's a great place. I mean, it really is. And this is, I know it sounds one-sided when you work here. And I know the people. I know the people long before I even worked here. I knew these people. But I'll tell you what, it's an absolutely incredible place, and people work. They work real hard to keep it rolling, and the behind the scenes stuff, and I mean that because it's not easy. It's a hell of a juggling act, but great bunch. And I'll tell you what, we're looking forward to it on Saturday, man.
Hey man, you're talking to a professional here. I see every venue from backstage to front, advancing shows to the marketing to everything else, and you are not blowing smoke. It's a very, very special venue in the country.
Yeah, it's crazy. And like you said, you've seen a lot. I mean, all started out with you. I was having fun, and I know you and Ryan Pelton that does the Elvis thing. I know you guys have crossed. You guys have crossed paths. I was having some fun with this earlier on my show. It's like, how do you have somebody that comes out of their mother's womb looking like somebody like Ryan Pelton, like Elvis, looking like somebody like you that looks like Springsteen, and then you're able to sing and play? How does that happen?
I think Elvis. I think Ryan might have got the better end of that. But he doesn't really have to sing or have talent. I think he'll do okay in life.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know what? It's to make a long story short, it was an absolute curse for me, especially in the early years. And I hope I'm not repeating myself, but when I wrote, I recorded, I've had recording studio, production company. I've been in the music business a very long time. Mm-hmm. It was only about maybe about 13, 14 years ago that I embraced this when I was offered this crazy show on the Strip to put the Springsteen character together. And, I saw it as a year away from home. It's an acting job. Why not? Let's, do this. And, it just kind of, turned into something else, and that I was able to see the world doing it and whatnot. So in a lot of ways, I turned something that was very negative, because everything that I did that was original in my early years, it always came out Bruce. No matter what, it always came down to, no matter how long my hair was, short, no matter what I was doing, no matter what I was trying to contort my voice and try to be as original as possible, it always came out Bruce. Mm-hmm. And so, that's a curse for somebody that's, trying to do their own thing.
Yeah.
But once I embraced it, it turned into, it was basically the path in front of me. And, I as soon as I saw it as for what it was, as, performing arts, thing. It was it became something I had a lot of respect for.
Yeah,
and especially when I saw the kind of people that were actually working in that industry in Las Vegas, and I mean with legends in concert and reputable shows. I'm not talking about one-armed Elvis and
right,
the 500-pound Elvis. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like people that are working in the industry are people that have done really great, wonderful things and are great singers, and this is basically a sweet gig.
Have you come across people with Bruce, E Street Band people? I mean, have they've caught the show? Have what's the feeling there on from those guys on that end?
We have a very long relationship with all of them. Well, I wouldn't say all of them. I mean, with most of them. What I guess when we put the show on the Strip, the inner circle, the camp, brought us out to. They rented out the Hard Rock in Times Square, and they did a private party for a lot of like the inner circle, and it was with Clarence Clemons, and Clarence did a performance with us, and we backed him up on some of his songs, and it was just a big night of fun party. And they decided that we were really good for the camp, that it was a positive thing. This was delivered very respectfully, and it was an act.
Yeah.
This wasn't a stalker. Psycho thing. This was, on its highest level. This was performance art, and it was an act.
No, and it's done very well. Don't get me wrong. Any word from Bruce himself on anything? Was he part of that inner circle when you guys were there?
He wasn't there. They sent him a video as like a joke, saying, "Hey, we don't need you anymore," kind of thing. And it was so he's always had a great sense of humor about it. He shoots us out like comments, in a full giant stadium. Making jokes about, how my band is almost as good as his, and joking,
right.
What I mean, like just digging on his guys, basically.
Right.
He's got a really healthy sense of humor about it, but he also, this is the big thing. I mean, and even Charlie Giordani, the new, organist in the E Street Band, and a few of the other men, Jake Clemons, who's now taking over for Clarence, now that he's passed away.
Yeah, that was shocking.
Jake was one of our subs.
Wow.
For the Clarence Clare.
Wow.
We played with Jake through the years.
Wow.
It's a very small circle, but what's very exciting about the whole thing is that my musicians are. It's basically Bruce in the USA is a band built with musicians from famous bands. Our bass players in Queen, the bass player from Queen, the real Queen. Our B3 player is like oldest guy in the band. He was the only white guy in the OJs. Old cat B3 player that from Aretha Franklin to all these R&B. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's a very decorated band with all these major players, and I'm saying this because all the guys in the band know all these guys from New York, from from the 70s on.
Right.
So it's become one of those bands that it's sort of like a glorified tribute that has a lot of respect from E Street Band.
What are some of the? Tell me, we always like to hear a crazy story from from the guys we have on the show. I mean, anything crazy? Any like woman throwing herself naked up on stage saying, "Please take me in your bus." I mean, anything crazy that you're at? I mean, I don't know who's laying there. I know you're laying in bed right now having coffee there in Las Vegas.
Oh,
I know that's going on now, and I know she's probably laying aside of you. So I know you have to be careful.
What do you mean, just one?
I know the showgirls have. I know the showgirls. They sleep all day, up all night. I know they're probably there. They probably still have their headdresses on. So, so what? What's a crazy? What's a crazy? Wait till we get out there. I'm going to make a trip, and I'm telling you what, we're going to arrange it that you're there. So I'm looking for the backstage passes if you can do that for me.
Well, hold on a second. I got to go clean up the dog food and get these dishes done. I'll be right back with you.
What's a crazy story in Matt Ryan, Bruce in the USA? One that might stick out for you, yourself, one of the members of the band. I mean, I'm sure there's many, but anything?
Yeah, you know what? We have this thing that there is home. And when we get home, we become very civilized human beings. As soon as we hit that road, it's like there's a switch. It's Jekyll Hyde stuff.
Okay.
And the truth of the matter is, the real deal. When you pump out and exert that much energy late at night, you can be up all night.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It's you don't settle down. It's not because of excitement of the show. It's just blood.
I hear it.
You know, hard work, that kind of thing. And so that's a very dangerous period after the show. So if there's last call anywhere, we're there. Any after hours. So we're still running around like, chasing a party when we can, which is, very, very dangerous at our age.
Sure.
But man, I don't even know where to begin with that. Are you kidding? It's just a big ball of absolute insanity. Listen, but when it comes to work, it's hard, it's serious, and they're two separate things.
Absolutely.
But you're talking about every day is just a crazy. Yeah, this is where I put it. We're carnies. We're absolute because I've met carnies. We bump into all kinds on the road. Okay, I bump into carny people, and I cannot find the difference between their lives and ours. Other than the performance part, it's exactly the same thing. It's hard travel. It's and when you let loose hard, and it's. I don't know, man.
I'm right. Look,
it's not something everybody could do.
You're preaching to the choir, man. You're preaching to the choir. I have definitely been there and spent a lot of time on the road. What the hell? That was probably the reason for my first divorce.
Are you kidding? Yeah, relationship. That's another thing. You have to pretty much decide that. Okay, you're probably going to be alone.
Well, let's look at it this way, though, Matt. Not really alone. I mean, let's go back to the after party, chasing the party. You're never really alone, but
that's what I'm saying. It's got to be in your blood. You can't be crying naked in a ball in your room. Waiting for love. You know what I'm saying? You really have to be a different individual and a little tougher than the rest.
Yeah.
For me, I love it. It's so in my blood. I don't even know what I would, I don't know what I would be doing that would actually make me happy.
I say the same thing.
Other than this.
I say the same thing with what I do here, and I'm fortunate enough to I can say this with all conviction to work for a very a bunch of talented people throughout the entire organization, and I mean that. And then when I do give those compliments, they just step on me and they throw me out some crazy email from corporate. But I totally mean it. Totally talented people throughout the entire organization, and but I wouldn't know what I'd be doing either. To sum up, Saturday night, Bruce in the USA, Matt Ryan, first, and I mean a great guy though, very, very down to earth, great guy. But as he said, knows what he's got to do when he gets on stage, and definitely is going to deliver. What? Any surprises? What can people look forward to except all out strap in, hold on, rock and roll show on Saturday night? What's going on right here at the Peak with you?
Well, we got a lot of requests that have been sent through Facebook that we always try to honor, but we'll always walk into the market each year with a whole bunch of new tunes. So there'll be a lot of other than removing the backbone songs like the Jungle Lands and Born to Run, the things that you really can't ignore. Mm-hmm. We've got a bunch of new tunes that we're really looking forward to.
Yeah.
Doing that night, but mostly there's just nothing better than that crowd. There's something very special about that crowd. It's I'm in awe every time we walk into that place and walk out on stage and see the size of that crowd, and the size of such a warm, beautiful crowd. We have a reputation across the country, which is a testament of Bruce and these songs, and what this individual and what these lyrics. Have really done to people. We can put, 1,500 people into a venue. Mm-hmm. The bar will sell more than any other band. We sell more drinks than any other band. But the beautiful punchline is we never need bouncers. Mm-hmm. Nobody needs security. Everyone leaves hugging, high-fiving. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Unheard of
in
club, theater land. So, in other words, we're able to do a show for pretty much the finest people in the country, the finest characters in the country. For you to be able to put that many people and that much alcohol in a room and have them walk away. So we're truly blessed.
Yeah.
If it was Iron Maiden, tribute. It might be a little bit different, but there's something gospel about this, and there's something positive about it, and that's the real, that's a real pull, and that's the reason why we've put ourselves through so much abuse for this show, because it really is special because of the kind of people we get to perform to.
Yeah,
and that's really the bottom line.
It's going to be a good one. Matt Ryan, Bruce in the USA, and I can tell you, visually accurate recreation of Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band, who've I seen many times in concert, and also seen Matt a couple of times. A hell of a show, man! Don't miss it. Saturday night, Matt. Hands down, great guy, but ready to rock the house right here at Penn's Peak, man. And I got to do one of my all-time favorites. There's so many of them out there that I've always loved Springsteen, but you know what? It goes back to like 75, and you might have heard this once or twice. I think it's, what's the title? Thunder Road. Have you ever heard that song?
I think so. I should really learn that song. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe you can learn that one before. Maybe you can learn that one in time to get here on Saturday.
I'll work on it.
Listen, Matt Ryan, you are an absolutely awesome individual, dedicated but very humble and down to earth. And you know what? It shows on stage, but it shows when you kick it in the ass. It works too, man. And we dig it.
Thanks, Doc. I really appreciate it, man. I love you, bro.
Listen, we love you guys, too, and safe trip. The rest of them I won't, but they'll see you when you get here on Saturday, buddy.
All right, man. You take care. Thank you so much.
You bet. See you soon.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. There you are, Matt Ryan.
PennsPeakRadio.com